name's Stuart from Interagro, and I'm here today with David Felce, Regional Technical Advisor for Agri and also a grower in your own right. And David's been working very closely with us over the last few years, looking at the benefits of Kantor in field trials, but also here on your own farm. Is that right, David?
Yeah, absolutely, Stuart. We've made use of Kantor in the last few years, as you say. And I always think there's a big difference between what happens in trials, where often you're spraying with a small plot sprayer, walking, slow speeds, smaller nozzle, accurate boom height, compared to what field practice often involves, and that can be quite different to what happens in the trial plots. And I think anything that helps to improve the whole process of that delivery, as Kantor has seen to do, then that must be a benefit.
Brilliant. And when we're advising the use of Kantor, we always talk about adding it to the tank first because it helps reduce the pH, improve compatibility, and then from the nozzle to the target we're looking at drift reduction, and then ultimately when we hit the target we're looking at improving spreading and retention and ultimately improving efficacy of the product it's mixed with. When we're thinking to the early stages of the programme, T0 timing, what would your main targets be for using Kantor early on?
Early on, it's often it can be, depending on the season, there can be a number of things going on at T0, depending on what else has happened or hasn't happened sometimes. So it can be that there's a number of products in the tank, which brings up the whole thing around compatibility. The second thing is that often the water will be cold, coming from either a tank or indeed from a borehole. And if it's also hard water, that brings in extra issues as well. The other thing is when you're actually looking at the targets, you've got multiple products in there, but equally you might have different targets in amongst that crop. Yeah. So there's a number of challenges that are around getting the product happily sitting together, the products getting sitting together, and then delivering them onto what might be multiple targets with maybe multiple modes of action. So anything that sort of helps that, all of those potentially conflicting areas, as you say, must be beneficial to helping the products work effectively.
Brilliant. And do you think with the changes in crop protection available this coming year and looking forward, the use of an adjuvant is going to help try and improve what chemistry we've got available still to target certain diseases?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right to point out, for many years we've relied upon a few sort of tried and trusted actives to get us, not to get us out of trouble, but sometimes to get us out of trouble. So things like chlorothalonil has been around for many years as a multi-site protectant. And then we've had some very active products for taking down rust, things like the morpholines. And these products have gone epoxyconazole, another very strong triazole on rust, which obviously is one of the big issues, particularly over where we are. Less so in other areas perhaps, but rust is a real big problem here with many varieties seeming to have a weakness on one or if not both of the rust species. So it's getting that activity that we used to get with things like the morpholines, getting the activity particularly in early season when the leaves are small and the conditions are not maybe ideal, getting that activity to quickly take the rust down is important because obviously it's inside the leaf layers, so we need to get the products working in the leaf.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.